Please welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, did you ever
What's
think
up,
you'd
guys?
be back? Cheers.
Excited to be
Cheers.
back. Don't worry. I got this nice throwback theater can.
Well played.
With her trademark charm and humor, Caitlin Clark pulled back the curtain on everything from her transition to the WNBA to locker room rumors to what actually happened in those gritty college matchups. She pulled off what no one saw coming and did it live via Zoom in a no-holds-barred interview with WNBA legends Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. From the moment she stepped onto the screen, it was obvious that this wasn't going to be your typical feel-good segment.
Product placement.
There we
Well
go.
Our show loves it. Our show loves it.
However, what precisely did she disclose, and why is the basketball community currently buzzing about it? Stay tuned because Caitlin didn't hold back when she revealed a lot about Paige Bueckers, Diana Taurasi, and even the blatant lies that Sheryl Swoopes has been spreading about the team. Are you ready to let it go? It was the callback that went viral online a year ago, when Diana Taurasi looked into the camera and sent Caitlin Clark the now famous warning that reality was coming.
What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
This year, it goes without saying that Diana broke her promise. Clark's reply was a confident smile, a small nod, and a smirk. The energy was electric, humorous, and lighthearted, but it was also a statement.
Congrats on
you've
your
been watching the
retirement,
first
D.
half.
Thank you.
And congrats
Now-
to you.
Unfortunately,
Well,
reality is
thanks.
coming to me now.
What's your big plans?
it in early.
What are you going to do?
I keep telling Sue I thought I was going to have all this time to do all these things. I'm more busy now. So if I give you any advice, play as long as possible.
We'll see. We'll get to 10 years. Then we'll think about it.
It's 10 years.
Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark's time on the court together was more than simply a game. It was a generational moment as they reflected on their first Phoenix match. Taurasi didn't hold back when it came to the mood. The audience was electrified, and it felt like the final game ever. The excitement was genuine, and it was about more than simply basketball. It was about watching a torch be handed in real time. Diana talked admiringly, emphasizing how bizarre it felt to finally play against the athletes she had spent years watching dominate college basketball.
What was it like for you two to play against each other?
It was amazing. I've been following Caitlin for so long and been watching her college career just in awe. And to be on the court and, the first game was in Phoenix, and it felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. There was such anticipation. The crowd was going crazy. All the people that came out to see Caitlin and our teams play against each other. It really was an amazing moment. And you talked about how, if you could play against anyone that is this new generation. So I got to cross paths with Caitlin, at least for a couple games. And to me, that meant a lot, Like, we've been doing this for a long time, and to see Caitlin do what she does is, I think someone said the other day, I'm like, I want the season to start so I can watch you again.
Though elegant, Caitlin's distinctive edge brought up memories of the Phoenix matchup. But this time, Caitlin made sure to record the pride in her voice, recalling that the comeback wasn't just a statistic on the board, but a turning point for her and her team as they faced a legend like Taurasi and prevailed. It was personal. We were down about 10 or 15 points and came all the way back and won.
What it was like to play against D?
Well, I was saying, that game in Phoenix, because we only played in Phoenix one time. And it was before Olympic break. Obviously, we had All-Star there too, but it was a great game. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we were down 10 or 15 and came all the way back and won. That was our first win versus a team that was above 500. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Great.
However, underlying the rivalry, there was respect for one another, and the occasion expanded beyond a single game to include a clash of eras that was filmed in real time. Even though Caitlin and Diana are at different stages of their careers, their influence is eternal, and as they laughed and smiled throughout the story, it became evident that this was more than just lighthearted banter. Rather, it was the past and future of basketball sitting in perfect harmony.
Caitlin, how excited are you for this next WNBA season? New head coach and Stephanie White. You added Natasha Howard, who Sue knows really well, DeWanna Bonner, which I know really well, Sophie Cunningham. I mean, it seems like, from the outside, this roster's ready to compete now, which is easy for us to say. We know there's a process to get there, but when you see that and you see those names come in, what does that make you feel like?
Speaking about her redesigned roster, Caitlin Clark couldn't contain her excitement for her new head coach, Stephanie White, as she enters the WNBA season with more than just momentum. Shot makers Sophie Cunningham, defensive powerhouses Sydney Carlson and Brianna Turner, and seasoned players Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner more significantly. Clark is aware of the names and what they bring, but she is also aware of the difficulty ahead with 7 new players and a constrained amount of time to establish rapport. Caitlin is accepting the fact that she is already in figure-it-out mode.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously on paper we have a really good team, but you only have, we start training camp, I think, on the 27th, and then, we have a back-to-back of preseason games on May 3rd and May 4th. So it's you have a very short amount of time to put that together, and 7 new pieces, and whether we carry 11 or 12, more than half of our roster, that's a hard thing within itself, but we should be pretty good, and I'm excited about it. I think what we needed was, we added a lot more experience. In the playoffs, we just didn't have that. We were a young group. Even Kels, obviously with being with the Fever through her entire career, she hasn't really had the opportunity to play in a ton of playoff games. So having that, whether it's Sydney Colson, whether it's DB, whether it's Natasha Howard, whoever it is, I think having that experience is going to be really good for us and that leadership in the locker room. So I'm excited.
When questioned about the widely shared off-season picture in which her arms were abnormally jacked, she revealed that she had been improving not only mentally, but also physically. Caitlin started giggling.
There was the viral picture that went around showing off your guns. Everyone's wondering, have you been hitting the weight room? Was it the camera angle? What happened there?
How did you do that? I've been trying to do that for 20 years.
AI is getting out of control. Come on.
But then the truth came out. She acknowledged that she spent a lot of time in the weight room to feel more dominant on the court, as well as to look the part. She even identified areas for improvement, such as mastering the mid-range and adding a floater to finish through contact. It's obvious that she's not just training to stay competitive, she's training to take over.
What are you doing in the off-season working on your game?
You're trying to get stronger, a lot of time in the weight room, and it's something I kind of enjoy, so it's been pretty easy for me to spend time in there and really work on that part of my game. And I think the biggest thing on the court is just that mid-range area. I got pretty uncomfortable in there when I would get in there, whether that's I didn't really have any floater. I didn't like taking a mid-range jump shot, so just getting more comfortable when I get my feet kind of into the paint, and honestly trying to just add a floater to my game, and finishing through contact and little things like that. But I think just going back to the weapons that we've added this year, there's going to be so many different things that we're able to do that I think it'll be able to make my life a little bit easier, and it should make everybody's life a little bit easier on our team.
That degree of self-awareness is uncommon, particularly for someone who is still very young in their professional career, but Caitlin is already acting like an expert, and I kind of like it. She spoke of the grind, referring to the leadership challenges and physical preparation that come with having a star-studded roster. She is aware that the expectations are high, but she is meeting them head-on. Recall the time when Sheryl Swoopes claimed that the locker room of the Indiana Fever is toxic.
Well, in the Fever, we're like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit
it's
going
a
on
lot.
around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
At last, Caitlin Clark's confronted that directly.
That whole week was Indiana, they don't get along, all this. And I'm like, great. And then I'm like, this is the most together team I've ever seen.
Is that one of the hardest things for you as a pro now? Just seeing all the narratives like that one, that your team didn't get along, and just having to literally ignore it, deal with it, even though you know it's not true?
She verified what we had already known, that Swoopes' statements were untrue.
It's something you kind of just become used to. It's people think they know what's going on inside of your locker room, and they just don't. At the end of the day, it's just, the girls that you have in there, and then obviously your coaching staff, and that's all that matters. And honestly, like, the best thing about last year is, like, we honestly had so much fun together. Yeah, we lost our first 8 games or whatever, but, like, we wouldn't have won if we didn't have a tight-knit circle or a good locker room. And that's the reason we kind of turned everything around, is just we, like, needed some time. We were a young group, and, you know, we figured it out. But, yeah, it was really fun, honestly.
Caitlin Clark is aware of what it's like to battle UConn, and she recalled every instance of our 3 meetings with them. She mentioned games from the Phil Knight tournament to the Sweet 16 and, ultimately, the Final Four. Each time was a test, and Gino Arma's team always came prepared, pitting me against the best scouts. She claimed that you could tell how intelligent he is.
So when you play against a Coach Auriemma coached team, what kind of beast is that?
Well, I think they just are so disciplined. Like, that's just, they're going to do what they do. They're going to do it really well. And also, I think, like, for myself, facing his teams, like, they always had some of the best scouts against me. Like, you can tell how smart he is.
Yeah.
Like, he understands the game. He's coached against so many really good players. And, you know, there were games I would go into and, like, the scouts were just like, it was just like, come on. Like, why are you going under ball screens? Why are you in drop coverage? But, like, he just made it difficult.
Whether it was various defensive looks or top defenders hammering her entire court, it wasn't simply flattery. It was a mixture of respect and frustration. Caitlin made it apparent that UConn never made things simple. He was always carrying something in his back pocket. She also mentioned Gino, which turned every game like a chess stool.
She would throw different defenders at me, and obviously having Nika Mule last year, like, she's probably one of the better defenders that I've faced. Like, she's just up in your grill. She'll pick you up 94 feet. Like, but then he just always has an answer, has different people. And I think that's one of the best things about him. Like, he has one game plan, but then he has something in his back pocket that he can go to. Yeah. And that's going to bother you again.
However, Caitlin appreciates not only the program, but also the players. When she was asked about Paige Becker, her tone changed to one of admiration for her elegance. That's something you need going into the W, Caitlin noted right away. She commended Paige's composed, mature demeanor on the court, saying that nothing ever seems to shake her.
When you watch Paige play and you see her in the next level, what are the things that obviously she's going to take to the WNBA and it's going to translate instantly? And what are the things that, you know, it takes you a couple games to get used to?
I think her poise, like, that's something you need coming into the W. It, like, all hits you so fast. Is like, you're moving to a new city, you're trying to understand new teammates, you have a new coach, while you're trying to live up to all these expectations. And I think that's, like, one of the greatest things about her game is just her poise and her maturity, and nothing ever seems to phase.
She is capable of scoring on all 3 levels. Caitlin went on to say that Paige's mid-range game was among the finest she has ever seen, which is great coming from someone who is dominated at every level. However, Caitlin didn't stop there. She also mentioned Paige's versatility, noting that she can play point guard or off the ball, which will be fascinating next to our.
I think she'll honestly fit right in. So, and, like,
so
that arena's fun to play in too. Like, it's a small place.
Yeah.
It's loud. You know, honestly, they should move every game to American Airlines, because I think Paige has that type of draw. Like, she'll be able to bring those type of fans in. I know we're playing there one of our games. Hopefully the other one gets moved too. We would appreciate that, Dallas Wings, if you can move the other one. But
I love this.
When a discussion devolves into technical fouls, you know it's going well, and with Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, and Caitlin Clark involved, it didn't let you down.
Speaking of how much D loves refs and technicals and ejections, here's the time Diana got ejected and sent me this photo from the locker room.
Oh my gosh, you got
tossed.
Got tossed.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, Dee, tell us.
Yeah,
what happened?
Everyone acknowledged their less than calm moments as the episode evolved into a humorous therapy session. Moments spent on the court, Diana chuckled as she proudly donned her representative and related how she was once dismissed for picking up a tech in the first and third quarters.
I think I picked one up quick in the first quarter, which is you're always doomed when you pick up a quick one. And then I picked one up in the third quarter and it was time to go home. So I took my ass to the back and chilled out, and my team got the win, and we went from there. But
How
I had to
many
make.
technicals did you get last year?
Say that again, Caitlin.
How many technicals did you get last year?
So last year, I think the limit is 7 and
It's
you get
7, yeah.
suspended?
You got 6.
I got
Sue, however, asserted her near-perfect record, drawing jeers and taunts from both sides. At that point, Caitlin came under fire, admitting that she was alluding to the WNBA 7 tech limit and deadpan delivery, half of which weren't even for speaking to referees.
And I got 2 for slapping the stanchion of the hoop, and then I got another one for accidentally hitting somebody in the eye. So half of mine weren't even like me getting to talk to the ref, which was dumb.
Yeah. I hate those side technicals. It's like, just look away. Why are you looking at me?
Act like you didn't
Just
see
don't
it.
call the foul. No. What are you at me for?
However, underlying all of the laughter was a serious edge because Caitlin is aware of the expectations, the optics, and the leadership role she is entering. When asked to set an over-under for her techs this season, she stated that she only promised 2, and Diana and Sue boldly took the lead. For this reason, she concluded by subtly promising her coach Stephanie White to keep the fire going, but not go overboard.
I got 6 too.
I
But
had
this
2 my
year,
whole career.
Hey, you
This year
got
I'm not.
double 2. I can see it. Yeah.
oh wow, Sue, you're so perfect. That's good.
Okay, Caitlin, over under technicals.
The
next
refs
year.
love me.
I'm going 4.5.
For
Over
Caitlin?
under.
Over.
Over 4.5.
Under.
I'm going over 2.
I already told.
No
I already
way.
Told,
No
I already
way.
told Steph too. Nice.
2.
And it's more games.
Oh, it's
Well,
more
the
games.
thing is, look,
The
I
odds are
was
against
close-
you.
I was close to getting suspended for our last game, and like obviously every front office or your GM like tries to like get your technicals taken away, and they wouldn't take any of mine away.
As the interview came to a close, Caitlin was teased by Diana about the notorious WNBA All-Star setup game, which she described as a trap for the newcomers. With her cup in hand, Caitlin simply grinned and remarked, "I had a great time." As Sue and Diana wished her luck, it was a full-circle moment where the league's newest star and legends bonded over stories of wild games and the craziness that makes the WNBA unique. You could sense the season. These days, Caitlin Clark is the conversation, not just a participant.
You want to be like her or you want to be like me? This is your choice this year. This is your choice.
It's like the
I'll be in
angel
the
and the
middle.
devil.
I'll be in the middle. Don't worry.
In the middle. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, guys, I don't know if you saw, but this is turning into a little bit of a blowout. A little bit of a...
Oh my God.
We are going to take a look at some memories. Caitlin versus Dee in the All-Star game in Phoenix. As Diana likes to call it, the ultimate.
That's a setup game.
It's a setup game.
Caitlin, when you're on the next national team, don't play in that game. It's the ultimate setup.
It's a setup.
It's a setup.
You guys are all
None of
loose.
you guys.
You guys are all
you guys
loose.
to smile. I was having fun.
I had a
wanted you
great
to have
time.
fun.
I had a great time.
Yeah, look at
my
Sue.
cup in my hand. I had a great time.
Who's having the best
Sue
time
was,
ever?
Sue said
Caitlin,
she was
thank you
rooting
so-
for the team WNBA.
I was on that side of the court.
In a room full of 2 of the greatest to have ever done it, Caitlin Clark didn't just join the conversation. She owned it. She demonstrated that she's not just hype. She's sharp, grounded, and has the kind of edge that makes legends nod in approval. From lighthearted jokes to her honest candor, she demonstrated why the future of women's basketball is in very good hands. If this interview is any indication of what's coming up on the court, and off we're all in for something special. Tell us in the comments how excited you are about training camp, which is in a few weeks, and preseason, which is in less than a month. Like and turn on all notifications so you don't miss anything. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next.